All right, we are recording. All right. So I'm going to have you get into Screen Task. Okay, and you're going to go to the Interfaces tab, and instead of using the Import Excel functionality, we're going to use this conversion page, which is how everybody used to do it before things started changing. Okay?
Right.
So the first step would be to upload the files, and then what will happen is it will let you know if there's any new modules that need to be mapped or task types built for or whatever. And once we get the mappings all completed and that all set, then we'll just convert. So let's choose the file format, which is Major 2. Okay. And then you're going to browse for that text file that I sent you on Friday. Did I send that to you?
I don't.
I know you. Yeah, I know you had. Why did I not make a note about that? I know you had some trouble with when I sent the files that.
And you were gonna, and with the link for our recording, but I think you must have got tied up also on Friday.
Well, the issue with that is I wasn't at the office, and I have to have Greg. We don't just send out the recording. We put it on our YouTube channel. So I will have him do that today so that you have that information. So, all right, let me just quickly get in my email here and send you the 15.0 text file and the assistance document. Okay. Let me know if they get through to you.
Jessica, this is Lynn Waldron, and
Did they stay in the same from Barracuda?
Oh, geez. Let me try sending them separately.
Yes, separately. I think we tried Friday, and I think worked separately.
Okay. Here comes the text file.
Okay.
And then I'm sending the assistance document separately. For future reference, if anything comes, that's encrypted by Barracuda, it's completely legit. It's just, again, I don't do it on purpose. It's something that just happens based on what's in the file.
I got the assistant doc as a regular, but the other one is as Barracuda.
All right.
See if I can click it and see it requires for a password from you. I don't have that.
Well, what you have to do is create one, I believe. It's one of those things. Ugh. And of course, the text file is the most important piece. So,
Yes. Right, so I'm here. This one here.
today is the 20th.
This is the text file.
Yep. Mhm. Well, this is the assistance document. Oh, here's both of them. Here's both of them. Yeah. So the text file, the .txt file, that's the most important. It's right. Yeah. That attachment there. It's not much to look at, so just.
Just save it, Jimmy. All right. You
want to make sure you save it as the same format as a plain text file.
Yep, that's what it is. Can you see it?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You just don't have any other text files there yet. Doesn't look like.
Probably not.
All right.
And let me download the other one too.
Okay.
The system stocks, so you can do this.
Again, the purpose of the assistance document is to tell you which file format, what the date on the PDF file or release notes is, so you make sure you're getting the right thing, what modules are included and how many work items from each module and that kind of stuff. So.
Yep. Alrighty, I think we're good on that side.
Okay. Back to stream task. All right, so let's try browsing for that again. All right, let's not worry about the PDF. At this point. So let's click the upload button there, and it's going to say to you, oh, you don't have the PDF. Say, that's all right, upload. Just click upload again. All right, so now you get this big message here. It looks like it only added one new module, important notes. All right. And then it lists all the other modules that are in there, and those are modules that are already in your list. All right.
Right.
Just to make the page, first of all, if you scroll through your list, you should find important notes. If the middle part where the actual modules are that are enabled, if you scroll through there, you should see important notes. Oh, if that was new, oh, there it is. Okay, so that's what it does. If there's something new, in other words, this wasn't here before. Now it looks
right.
like it was because you can see you have important notes already, but it's spelled differently. One's capitalized, one, so it thinks it's a different module, even though it really isn't. So it's very, very literal. Whatever they call it is what it's, And if you look at the assistance document, I have a note in there that says this particular work item is also included under Clinician Hub. So
okay.
What that tells me is, unless you want two copies of the same work item, you don't really need to make sure you get this one. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yes.
It's one of those things where they put it in the file, like just making a note of it, whatever, and then they also put it in the module that it really belongs in. So I'm not sure why they do that sometimes. So for this particular release, I would say you don't need to worry about mapping this module. In fact, you might just want to disable it and get it out of the way, whatever. But you're not going to miss anything if you don't get this because it's somewhere else.
Okay.
The next thing, though, would be to make sure that all the modules that are included in this file are actually mapped to task type. So to make the screen a little bit easier to navigate, I would click the clear button and get rid of that message, because that message is taking up a lot of real estate. So just hit clear, and all it's going to do is get rid of the messaging. Nothing else is going to change. You still are where you are. The file has still been uploaded. You can see it's listed there at the bottom. That was the last file uploaded. You could go on vacation for a month and come back, and as long as nobody else uploads another file, it's still going to be there ready for you to convert it. Okay?
Gotcha.
So let's just kind of, if we look at the assistance document, you just want to make sure, you know, depending on what's in the file, that you have things mapped. So I noticed that the module claims management doesn't have a task type map there. So if you want to click on that one, because there are 2 work items in the file for claims management. And let's click in your task type dictionary field up top and see if you have, no, not in the dictionary itself, in the field above where it says task type. This is where you would choose the task type for this module. Let's see if you have one for claims management. You do. I can see claims management. It's like 5th one from the top. Okay. So happy, you do not need to create a new task type. You just need to choose that. You need to choose it right there where you were. Claims management. And save. So what you're doing is you're telling it for the module claims management, just hit OK. We're going to map everything in a batch update anyway. All right.
Okay.
So again, you're going to have to make sure for any module in the list here that is in the file that you need, that you have a task type attached to it. So let's just slowly scroll through the list and see if there's any others that have blanks. Continuity of care document. There's nothing in this file for that. Again, documentation templates. There's nothing in this file for that. You know, just because it's a module doesn't mean we're gonna skip important notes. We're not worried about that. Just skip over it. Just want to make sure the things we need that are in the file are mapped. Patient supply charging. There are 8 work items for this module. So again, let's see if you have a task type for patient supply charging. Doesn't look like it. Now, again, because we're not doing an import, it doesn't have to match anything in particular. If there's a different module that already exists where you would want to map it to that, you can, or you could go and create a new task type for that particular module and then come back here and choose it here. That's up to you. So I don't know. Again, it's not my call. I don't know if that could fall someplace else. It would make sense or not. And if there's something, if there's something for that module in the other files, it might just be worth it to get it mapped. I mean, I think that's a pretty common module. I don't really know what it means, but it's up to you. So if you want to go build a type for it, we can. Or,
yeah, we can. That way it's out of the way.
Okay, so go ahead, go to the task type dictionary. And again, you could just copy another type and just make sure that you have the right auto assignee on it, or I don't know if it would be the same person as for patient management. Oh, wait a minute, look at that. You do have patient supply charging. It's just disabled for some reason. All right, so let's just make sure that it's got the right required, just for ha-has, in case it shows up in a spreadsheet that you have to import. Let's try to make sure we have the correct name on it. If I can find my list of required task types here in my stack of stuff. Yeah, so it's called patient supply charging. That's what we call it. So you're just going to want to make sure that you have the correct assignees on there. Remember, that's the other assignee. You got to have a primary before you can even choose another assignee, or it's going to yell at you. All right.
All right.
So at the bottom where it says default report, you're going to choose task. Because remember, if somebody tries to email a task, it's going to be blank unless you choose a format. This is the primary assignee, okay? And then if you wanted an other assignee, then you'd have to choose that up there and then save it. And make sure you've enabled it. Okay, so, all right, well, that was easy. All right, so now we can go back to the interfaces page and map that, go and find that module again and choose the task type and save it. There we go. Patient supply charging. See it there? And choose the task type. It wasn't here before because it was disabled, so no.
Right.
And save. All right, and then let's just continue. That's just tell it okay. It's doing that because you don't have any projects attached to anything yet. That's all right. We're going to do that. All right, statistical reports. Let's see if there's anything in here for that. Yes, there is. There's 5 work items for statistical reports. So let's see if you got a. Yay. Save it. Go ahead and save.
I don't know why I didn't pick it.
Well, you know what, Harpreet, since we've been working on, on your last update, I don't know if it may be that there was nothing for that module, or maybe, I don't remember, maybe we didn't do any converting. Maybe everything we did was through the import Excel. So
We did both. We did both.
Okay. Well, maybe there was just nothing in the file for that. All right, web station for physicians, there's nothing. There is web station for security, that's good, okay. And there's nothing for Zincs. I don't know if do you use that?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, so I think we have everything attached to a task type. So now let's just hit the clear button and let's batch update the entire list to the correct dates, etc. So again, now that you're not clicked on any particular module, let's go up to the map field section and you're going to choose yourself for the requester. It's going to be your Paragon work group. The priority is going to be whatever your default is. The request date is going to be today. And then your target is whatever, is it December or January rather, 20. Okay, and then the project. Don't choose a task type because remember everything has a different task type. So the project is the 15.0 September 2019 file. Okay, and then where it says batch, right where your cursor is, you're going to click in there and you're going to say fields only. And so what we're telling it is for every single module in the list, you want to apply these values, that you're the requester, these are the dates, the work group, etc. So go ahead and click save or do Control S, whatever works for you. And it's going to update the list. So now all the modules have the same dates, the same project, the same requester, priority, etc. Okay. The only thing that's different is the name of the module and the task type that they're mapped to. Okay. So now at this point, we should hopefully just be able to convert the file and get all of the work items in here. So go ahead and click convert. And you might have to hit the refresh button a couple times. Keep going. As long as you see the refresh button, it's just kind of pausing. All right. The bigger the file, the more often you have to click it. Unfortunately, I don't know why. It keeps you awake because it moves around a little. All right. So it's telling you you got 1,502 tasks. All right. All right. And the total possible was
15.
well, I have 1567.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means we're missing some, and that could be because you don't use particular modules. So the best way to double check it would be to go and run the A1 report on the project, and then we can see what's missing and make sure you're not missing something that you needed. So again, we don't care about important notes because, like I said, that's somewhere else. But let's see if there's anything that stands out. Got EDIS. Let's see. Are you looking at your assistance document?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So. Oh, ambulatory. You don't use that, right?
Don't use that.
All right. So that's 56 right there.
Right there.
And then there's the one from important notes. So that's 57. We're off by what? 65, I think, total.
5, yeah. 5. We got 56 here, so we off by another 9.
Yep. Let's see. Is there anything? You have
Radiology. It says 9 in radiology.
in what?
Radiology.
Is that something you use? Or mobile specimen?
But we have radiology here.
Okay.
In the report, radiology management 9.
Yep. Do you use mobile specimen? Oh yeah.
No.
It's there. You got it. I'm just trying to figure out the easiest place where 9 would be missing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, going to have to go through it module by module just to make sure that, figure out what we're missing here. Application security, CCS.
I'll go bottom to the top to the top one.
Yeah, they're not necessarily in the same order because they're alphabetical here, but application security, claims management, clinician hub. In clinician hub you got 138 and there's 133. Oh, and then clinician mobile server is 5, so they're just grouped together. CDA is 34. Direct messaging, EDIS. Trying to think if is there some module that you know that you don't use. Hopefully that's all it is. All right, so we're missing fully processed orders. That's 5. And got fixed assets. General ledger. It's got to be something small. Global. Job stream, downstream billing. Clinical and financial. Transcription. Specified collection. Where is it? How did you get 37 in order management? There's 34. Something else must have been combined in there.
Yeah, there are a few of them. Like they're combined.
Okay, all right. Four. I'm trying to look at the small ones. So we're missing 4 now, right? No.
Yes.
So where do we have 4? We got Paragon auditing, patient view. Look for the smaller ones. Now you do not have patient view, or is it combined with something else? Patient profile is 77. You got 78. So you must have added patient view must be with patient profile. Performance manager. Performance manager interface, that's 1. But that may have been combined with something else.
Right.
Receivables administration. Yeah, that makes it a little bit harder to. Referrals and authorizations. I'm not seeing referrals and authorizations, are you? That's because referrals and authorizations has 4.
Yeah.
All right. So what did we figure we're missing? Is ambulatory care is the big one.
Right. We don't use that.
So that doesn't matter. But
Then
fully processed orders, do you use that? And referrals and authorizations? Probably.
probably, but
it's hard to tell exactly what's missing because you do have things combined. So you're going to have to kind of go through it carefully and figure out what exactly is missing. All right.
Well, if I keep it up like this, and I could have them see any of the departments they can identify.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
So like I could identify how ambulatory care practice we don't use.
Yeah.
So maybe I can have them have a look at this to identify we do not use.
Okay.
That way we care. Because we're missing what?
We're just
50,
you're missing 9 that you might need. The 50,
right.
The 56 doesn't matter because if you don't use ambulatory, you don't want them. The key
Right.
would be trying to figure out the ones that you are missing. But like I said, it's kind of hard to compare it against the assistance document because some of your things are combined. Like there's a work item for job stream, but it looks like you combined job stream with job stream billing. So
Right.
Probably the easiest way for you to figure out maybe what you combined is to look at your mappings, but you can run that, you can take a look at that later because that's going to take a little bit of time. And then what I would do here, Preet, if you figure out you're missing something that you need, I wouldn't go and delete everything and reconvert the whole thing all over. What you can do, if you want to go back to the interfaces page, I'll show you what you can do. You can convert the file again, but only convert for the modules you need. So say, just for example, that you missed the work items for fully processed orders and you need that. So let's scroll through the list here and see what that module looks like first of all. Because we went through the list and you had everything that mapped as far as I could tell. Maybe I missed it. All right, so fully processed orders, that's going under order management. So you have that map to order management. All right. So you're just going to want to make sure that you actually have the correct number for order management based on that. And yeah, that's why you had 37 instead of 32. So you combine those. So you're okay, and that's not what's missing. All right.
Right.
I think referrals and authorizations wasn't in the report. So let's see if that module is actually here. And if it is, what you mapped it to. There we go. Okay, it's mapped to registration. So,
And we have registration separately here.
You did have it in the report? Okay, so there's 35 for registration, plus if you add in the
39. Should be 39.
Okay. So you'll just have to double check that. So
Yes.
if you figure out what you're missing and say it's, two modules, the way you would reconvert and get just what you need would be if you hit the clear button here on this page, and so that you're not clicked on any one module. If you go up in the map field section, step 2, where it says batch, you click on the drop down for batch on the right hand side there. There's an option that says enable, disable only. So what you would do, just as an example, say you missed all the work items for clinical care station or something. What you would do is you would come in here, you would choose enable, disable only, and then you would uncheck the enabled box. All right. And then when you hit save, what it does is it disables every single module in the list. Okay. Then you would go and find the module or modules that you need, the ones you're missing, and re-enable them. And then when you convert, you'll only get the work items for the modules that are enabled. If a module in the list here is disabled, you can convert all day long, even though everything's mapped, it's not going to bring the work items in. So does that make sense? So
Yes.
Instead of going and finding everything you already converted and getting rid of it and then making sure, just figure out what's missing, make sure you have the modules mapped here correctly, disable everything like I just told you. All you have to do is choose that option and then uncheck the enabled box and save, and then enable only the modules you need and then reconvert the file. And the file is still there. You don't have to go and import it again or anything. As long as that file is still there, and you can see in step 3, that's the file that's there, then you can just convert and get the missing work items. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
And then you just have to make sure you come back in here and you re-enable everything so that you have, for the next time. But the next 2 files you need, you're going to have to import with the import Excel utility anyway. This is the only file that you need that can be converted. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, and again, you can do that, later. Then for the CU1 and the CU2 files, like I said, those are going to have to be imported using the import Excel functionality. And you're going to want to build a new template just for these files because they're formatted. Well, wait a minute. The CU1 file, you can use that Allscripts Paragon release, that second one, not the second one. That's the one you built when we did the 14.1.3.1, those 2.
August.
Yeah, the August and May supplementals from your last update. So that's where you would convert the CU1 file. And then for the CU2 file, because they're not providing the Actually, you don't need to build a new template for this one either. For the CU2 file, you're going to use the all scripts P1 template.
Okay.
So just again, because you don't have that all scripts raw file format, you can't just convert it in. You're going to have to import the spreadsheet that we gave you. So this is the template you're going to use for the CU1 file. You're just going to have to make sure you change your dates or okay, and the project, and choose the project that you're going to bring it in under. Okay. Other than that, it's going to be, the same. Okay, don't forget to choose the project. I think you built the project for this.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so in the projects field there, you're not bringing it from the spreadsheet. You're going to bring it from your dictionary. So in the default values section, where you were changing the date, you're going to want to change the project. It's in the middle column on the bottom. There we go. Choose your CU1 file and then save the template. Okay. So to convert this file, I'm not saying you should do this right now, because the other thing you need to make sure of is you need to make sure that all of your task types are matching exactly the task types that are in your dictionary. Okay, because you're bringing it in from our spreadsheet, and you can do that later. So at least you know the template is all set. Once you're sure all of your task types match the required ones in your task type dictionary, then all you do is come in here, click on this template, browse for the CU1 file, and convert it. And then for the CU2 file, you're going to click on the other the all scripts P1 template. And for this one, all you're gonna probably want to, you could change the request date if you want, but the big thing you're gonna have to update here is the project, because for this one, it's the CU2 file, and you could actually change that right now. If you change it now, you'll.
No, I wanna fix the other one first, right?
Well, for either one of these files, the template itself is going to be all set. So if you want to change the project in the template, then you won't have to do it later. But okay. I wouldn't import either one of these files until you go. It's going to take you a little time, but you're going to have to go through and make sure all your task types are updated before you do this, to make sure you don't miss any. Okay. So go ahead, make sure you save this so that it's saved with that project. Okay, so you have a little bit of homework to do, all right?
Yep.
So I will send you a follow-up email. Double check and make sure you have all the files you need. I apologize for the stuff that, well, it went through. It was just encrypted, but I think you said you had the CU1 and CU2 files, so I think you should be all right. So you just have a little bit of homework to do. Make sure you update your dictionaries, or make sure that anything that's in the files, you have it updated.
One right here,
yep.
Two right here.
All right. So I would look at the assistance documents, double check your dictionaries, make sure that's all set. Like I said, I'll send you a follow-up email with kind of what I see as you needing to do. There's two other things I want to mention. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but last time I think you did. Remember how, because we're bringing everything in under separate projects, last time you created what we called like an umbrella project, and then after you got all your work items in, you went and searched by project and you added that other project of the umbrella project. You could do the same thing here. What that allows you to do is to tie all of the work items together under one umbrella project so that you could run a report that shows the total number of work items by module across all of these sets of release notes. So
Yes.
that's something you might want to do. And usually, you could call it something like update to 15.0 CU2 or whatever it is.
Right.
And it's just a way to tie them all together under one umbrella project. So that's something you could do, and you'd have to build that project. And again, once you get everything in, then you really only have 4 projects, and then you have your PR files. You could decide what you're going to want to do with those. But and then the other thing I wanted to mention to you here, Preet, is that I wasn't able to access your server. I know when we got our access all set up a little while ago, you said it was going to be good for 6 months, but I tried getting in last week and I couldn't. So I don't know if it's...
You want to send me another email whose name should be on it?
Okay, I can do that.
I will have that taken care of.
Yeah, it's just that way, there's 2 things. Number one, I can go in there and kind of see what you're doing and check on things, or if you have a service issue, one of us here can get in and actually see what's going on. And
okay.
You also want us to get you updated. We're going to have to be able to get a programmer in there. So,
and I have a question. Like, we were talking about the upgrade, and do we need a server? Are you guys going cloud-based? Are you guys like?
No. The issue is, if you're talking about your existing server, and I don't know what operating system you have because I can't get to it and check it out. But if you're on if you're using Windows 2008, it's reaching end of life in January.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I send an email with an attachment that has all your options. You could upgrade in place. You could build a new server and move it over yourselves, or you could build a new server and have us do the migration. There's a charge for that, but it's all outlined in that attachment. It's up to you. It's up to you what you want to do. I mean, obviously, it doesn't mean StreamTask isn't going to work, but if you don't upgrade your operating system, then there's a risk of some.
No, we definitely are upgrading.
Okay.
We're just trying to see what is going to be the best way moving forward for a longer duration.
Okay.
So do we need to build a server, or we can go cloud-based, or what do we need to do? So have that email feed, then we can look at it.
Yep. And then let us know if you want us to do the migration, we can. And then if you're planning on doing that anytime soon, probably what we would do is get that taken care of, whether you do it yourself or we do it, and then we would update StreamTask after you get it, the operating system updated. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
all right,
you're welcome. I will send you a follow-up, and if you have any other questions or whatever, let me know. All right?
Yes, sure. And if you would please send me the links from our previous meeting and today's meeting on YouTube.